to the Wellness Transformation Journey podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Peters. Have you ever wondered where to begin when setting your goals for a wellness journey? In this two-part episode, we'll discuss first, establishing your reason why you want to start a wellness journey. And in part two, setting up your SMART goals. There are so many physical and psychological pieces that go into a wellness and weight loss journey. And in my last episode, I talked about motivation and building long-term strategies to keep motivation going, even when things get tough. Motivation is not just about willpower or inspiration, but it is a system of mindsets, goals, habits, and strategies that work together and for us. Without all these things working together, we are more likely to fail when things get hard. After you recognize your motivation for pursuing a wellness journey, the next step is to establish specific goals that are manageable and obtainable. Once you establish those goals, which will change throughout your journey, you will develop strategies to support your goals and maintain your healthy habits. Once we develop these, we are able to change our mindset. Before setting your goals, you need to deeply understand why you are pursuing your wellness or weight loss journey. Most people start this process by looking at surface level motivations, which are motivations that are outside that may not mean enough to us to stick with a program. For instance, saying, "I want to lose weight because I want to look better," will probably not be enough to drive you long term when things get hard. When we dig deeper, get personal, and are honest with ourselves, we can connect with a more meaningful reason to start our journey and find true motivation. This is not easy work, but it establishes a foundation for success. Start by identifying your core motivators for going on this journey by considering the why. Going through this process was not easy for me, but it helped me establish a foundation. I identified multiple reasons, such as to play more with my nieces and nephews, to hike and travel more the way I wanted to, and to set an example for my students and younger family members. I set long and short-term goals. As you go through the process, write your reasons down and be specific. When you reach them, build on them slowly. To be more specific with your goals, start with your initial reason for wanting to lose weight, and then break it down further by asking yourself, why multiple times. For instance, I started with, "I want to lose weight," and asked myself why. Then I told myself I wanted to feel more energized, and again asked myself why. Then I answered, to hike and see new places without always feeling exhausted or out of place. I asked myself why again, and I answered, to take pictures and share my experiences. I finally reached the reason to be a role model for my students and enjoy and support nature. This took time, honesty, and digging to get to the point multiple times. And many of the goals that I had along the way, I still set as specific goals along with my final reason as to why. There are multiple motivators for your wellness journey. Let's take time to examine each of these. First, there are health-based motivations, which focus on how weight loss will impact your health. Consider each of these and answer how you want to be impacted. First, your long-term health outlook. For me, I wanted to be more active, avoid my family history of heart disease and diabetes, along with hiking further and longer while taking up running and biking. Second, think about your daily energy levels. I didn't want to feel tired all of the time, and I wanted to keep up with people when we were walking and not run out of breath all the time when I walked short distances or even walked and talked. Third, mobility and physical comfort. My feet always hurt after standing for a while or walking a decent amount. My ankles were weak and I struggled with my calves cramping regularly. I wanted to get rid of, or at least better cope with, some of these issues. I still have some problems with soreness in my feet, but it's not as bad. My ankles aren't nearly as bad either. I still have some issues with both due to injuries when I was younger. My calves feel much stronger and almost like brand new. Last, think about current medical conditions or risks that you might have. I didn't really have many issues that I was aware of, but I was concerned about future conditions that being out of shape and being obese could cause down the line. Aside from health concerns, there are also areas for personal growth that can be motivators. These are areas where you personally want to improve yourself. First, family relationships. Several family members regularly put me down about my weight or commented about my health. This was supposed to be a motivator, but it often made me shut down and want to escape. I wanted to be looked at differently and for more than just my weight. Some relationships have gotten better and others have not. However, I feel better about myself and have gained the confidence to better deal with those situations. Second, social confidence. I hated going to the gym or doing many physical activities in public because I would always be stared at and sometimes laughed or scoffed at. This made me feel like everyone was talking about me. I wanted to walk into a gym and other spaces without worrying about what was being said. It took years, but I finally broke that fear in late 2023 when I joined a gym. I now maintain a regular gym routine, which was a major step for me. Third, daily activities. I wanted to make a routine out of walking daily or doing some form of intentional movement for at least an hour each day. I have reached that and built onto that to 2 to 3 hours a day, at least 4 days a week, and 30 to 60 minutes on days off. Fourth, future opportunities. I was focused on hiking and traveling more, going farther on hikes, trying harder hikes, and flying on an airplane without a seatbelt extension. I also wanted to run long distance races. I've done all these things and keep growing my goals to longer races, different types of races, and harder hikes. Last, professional performance. I teach broadcasting, which includes live events and sports. This requires moving equipment, crawling on the floor for setup, and being on my feet a lot. I wanted to feel like I wouldn't be exhausted all day after a production. I'm still tired at the end, but don't feel like just shutting it down afterward. Now that you have your whys and have thoroughly broken down your motivations, create a personal statement or a list. I personally did both. Place the statement and list in a place where you will see it every day. I had multiple lists with the same information placed in different places in my house. I wanted to be sure I would see the list every day. I had one on my bathroom mirror, one on my fridge, and one on my bedroom door. For your personal statement, include your deep personal reason for why you want to go on this journey. List and identify your personal improvements. Explain why it matters to you, and also explain what or who your success will impact. Provide specific examples. The more specific you are, the more you will drive your motivation during tough periods. Another strategy I found more effective for myself, and I included with my other list, was to provide specific examples of things I wanted to do. This list is still on my fridge and gets updated when I accomplish something. It included or includes things like visit and hike all the national parks in the United States, climb to the top of a mountain peak, hike the Milford Track in New Zealand, run a 5K, and finish. Some of these things I have done, others I am still working toward for different reasons. It takes time to delve deep and figure out the reason why you are pursuing a wellness journey. It took me several days and several hours to get to the deep reasons. It's not supposed to be easy. You're trying to change your lifestyle and change your life. It doesn't mean you can't start your journey before, but having a reason why and seeing it daily provides a boost when times get tough. Or it's great to look at it when you're starting your day because you know where you're headed. In part 2, I'll discuss setting up your SMART goals to get started on your journey.